Hello guys. So little video. I'll try and make it quick and not too complicated. I sent you a little WhatsApp video earlier explaining the time signatures and the rhythm, what have you, and how we can simplify it just by playing on the pulse beats, which makes it super easy to play. But because of the timing of the words, and the words are on precise beats within that 12/8 rhythm, it does mean you have to be pretty precise on what you sing on and where you change the chords. And that was the problem, and it was hard to explain that in a session when we were supposed to get through a lot of songs. So I thought if I do a little video and explain it, because when I learnt this before, I listened to it, I worked on the correct key, I played it on the piano, I used the music and get really familiar to it, so that when I obviously teach it I know what I'm talking about. And then it was quite complicated to play as a group, because if some of you know it, some of you don't, some of you have grasped it, some of you haven't, then it's very easy just if you're trying to follow the chords and the words, and if they don't match up exactly, or if you don't get the strumming on the right beat of the word, on the right word that it's meant to be on, it kind of throws it all, and it does sound quite messy when we play it as a group if we try and do it that way. So obviously what I was trying to do is simplify it, and just by all of a sudden just changing, putting all we have to do is change one beat of where we put the word in, come in a little bit later and stretch out so it was across 4 beats, and we could all play it like a normal strumming pattern, and that's how we played it, and it worked fine for the gig. But obviously I realized that it's a cool song, people like it, and they want to learn to play it the way it is. So this is the way you have to do it if you're going to stick to the 4 strums. Playing the 12/8 rhythm, 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 is nice. You can do them down ups, but the problem with doing down and ups is because there's an accent every so every 3 beats, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, is if you do down up, you watch what happens with the strokes. You get down up down, so it's 1 2 3. The next one is an upstroke. So if you want to really define the bump 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 bump, the 4 beats that we're playing, then it means that you've got to do that with a downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke, which it can be done, and I do it when I play in 12/8 quite a lot. But if you're not used to playing 12/8 and you're not used to playing that strumming pattern, that's really quite hard to get an upstroke to sound as loud as a downstroke. Good practice, good thing to work on. So obviously that was problematic when we were trying to play it and trying to do the 12/8 feel. So then we switched to just playing those pulses, the 1 2 3 1 2 3, which is just the strum. And you can get upstrokes, because if you do like the shuffle 1 2 3 1 2 3 1, you can actually play an upstroke on that 3rd one and you get this. So it's a swing rhythm, a shuffle rhythm, and that works perfectly well. And obviously, as I was explaining in my other little video, when you get to that one bit, there's because there's 3 beats and you're singing on the first one and that next 3, and there's 6 on each chord. It's quite hard to understand unless you kind of read the music and know you've got a little bit of musical knowledge to kind of see where we're going there. Then obviously it's problematic when you half and you're trying to do 4s. So what I've done is I've got a version on screen which you can see. It's all very normal up until you get to the wind in the willow played, and I've exaggerated a little bit where the words go as well. So you'll see here that you've got 1 strum on the C, and this is what I was trying to say in the thing. It's 2 strums, and you've got to sing on the 2nd strum, and if you don't sing on that G, so you sing on the 2nd strum of a C, and the wind comes on the G7, and there should be 2 strums, and then when it comes into willow played, you just got your normal 4 strums, and you got to have 1 strum of G7 before you sing Love Sweet Melody, and then 1 strum of B7 before it goes But All Those Vows You Made, and then 1 strum of the B7 before, and so it kind of has to be that precise. Otherwise the chords are out of sync, and by the time you get to the end, if you're doing it like 4 on each bar and you're singing along, yeah, it might sound alright singing wise, but when you get to the end the chords are all out aligned. And of course if you've got a group of us playing it and one of you might be playing it correctly, one of you might be playing it slightly differently, it always sounded like a little bit chaotic in that one bit. So hopefully this video helps for those that want to play it or want to know, and it is a really good lesson to learn for 12/8, because like I said, it's in a lot of blues melodies. Just 4 beats. On Blueberry Hill it lingered until The wind in the willow play love's sweet melody, but all of those vows you made were never to be. Though we're apart. There you go. So that's quite, it sounds quite easy, but it is not if you haven't practiced it or got used to it. And I just feel that the way we did it before just meant everyone could play like their normal 4/4 rhythm and get away with it. But obviously a few people in the audience, they like this song and they sung it correctly, but obviously we need to play it correctly as well for that to work, especially as a group. So this video was really just to help those that didn't know it or wasn't sure of where the changes were. And even if you do sing it right and you're not quite sure what the rhythms are or the timing of the chords, hopefully this has cleared it up so that everyone gets what I was trying to get at, because it isn't an easy thing to explain, to be honest with you. Not unless you've got a little bit more basic knowledge about things like 12/8 and what have you. Anyway, that's a little explainer. Hopefully that's made sense, and by all means ask me any questions, or if there's any other ideas. There probably is a few other versions of this out there, in different keys and what have you, but this is one step down. It works great. 1/2 step down actually, so it's really close. It works great. And like I said, I'll send the MP3 and I'll send this, and if we practice it maybe in another week's time, not this jam coming, but in a week's time, we can perhaps have a run through and see how it sounds. And if everyone's playing it and it makes sense, then great, we'll add it, because it is a cool song. Otherwise, no sweat, we've got plenty of good songs. We don't need to sort of lose sleep over and not doing this one, and it could be something that we do in a lesson, or because it's on our playlist, we go over when we start going back in September, we'll go over it a few times until we'll clock it, and then great, we can play out a song that's slightly different because it's 12/8, slightly different feel, and we'll sound pretty good if we can play it obviously more correctly as well. So I'll be happy with that. Anyway, so all the best to you all, love you all, and I'll see you soon.